If you're someone who turns your nose up at greasy burgers and fries but can't resist the creamy, cold temptation of a milkshake, you're definitely not alone. There's something about that sweet, velvety blend that calls to us, even if we try to eat healthy most of the time. But what if I told you that a single milkshake could do more than just satisfy your sweet tooth? What if it could actually rewire your brain's cravings in ways you never expected? Today, we're diving into a wild experiment that took the classic milkshake and cranked it up to an extreme. One that left scientists and the volunteers totally stunned. This isn't just about calories or a sugar rush. This is about what happens when you blend up a whopping 130 grams of pure fat into a single monstrous shake, and then watch what it does to the human brain in real time. Let's set the scene. Picture a high-tech lab, buzzing with anticipation. Volunteers file in, some a little nervous, others excited, all of them curious about what's about to happen. The air is thick with the scent of science, and maybe a little bit of butter. Now imagine a milkshake so rich, so dense, that it's basically like drinking a stick of butter blended with your favorite dessert. We're talking about a shake that's not just a treat but a full-on fat bomb. It's thick, creamy, and almost daring you to take a sip. Most people would never dream of consuming this much fat in one sitting. But for science, these volunteers are about to do just that. But why go to such extremes? The goal was simple, yet fascinating. To see exactly how a megadose of fat would affect the brain's reward system. We know that sugar can light up the brain's pleasure centers, but what about fat? Could it be just as powerful, or maybe even more so? So, a group of brave volunteers signed up ready to put their taste buds and their brains to the test. Some were self-proclaimed foodies, others just curious about the science. All of them were about to experience something totally unexpected. Each volunteer was handed a giant frosty glass filled to the brim with this ultra-fatty shake. It looked innocent enough, just like any other milkshake you'd order at a diner. But beneath that whipped cream and those sprinkles was a secret weapon. 130 grams of fat, ready to go to work on their brains. After downing the shake, the volunteers were whisked away to the MRI room. Here, scientists could watch their brains in action, tracking every flicker of activity as the fat hit their systems. The anticipation was electric. Would the brain react the same way it does to sugar, or would something totally new happen? The results? Absolutely jaw-dropping. The moment the fat from the shake entered their bloodstream, the brain's pleasure centers lit up like a disco ball at a party. Dopamine, the chemical that makes us feel good, flooded their brains, creating a rush of euphoria and satisfaction. It was as if their brains were celebrating, throwing a party just for fat. But the story didn't end there. As the minutes ticked by, something even more surprising happened. The volunteers started to crave more food, specifically more high-fat, high-calorie snacks. Their brains were sending out powerful signals, urging them to keep eating, even though they just consumed a massive dose of fat. Those fat-packed sips didn't just satisfy hunger, they actually sparked intense cravings. The brain's appetite signals went into overdrive, making it almost impossible to resist reaching for another snack, another bite, another treat. It was as if the brain had been hijacked, rewired to seek out even more fat. And with those cravings came impulsive thoughts, sudden, almost uncontrollable urges to eat more, even when the body didn't really need it. Some volunteers found themselves reaching for snacks without even realizing it, surprised to see empty wrappers piling up in front of them. The real shocker? This all happened without a single gram of added sugar. That's right, even without the usual sugar rush, the brain's reward system went wild. It was like winning the lottery, but the ticket was pure fat. The pleasure centers in the brain were just as active, just as excited, as they would be after a sugary treat. This experiment proved that fat alone can trigger a full-blown celebration in your brain. The takeaway? Pure fat has the power to hijack your feel-good circuits, no sugar required. It can make you feel blissful, satisfied, and even a little bit addicted, all on its own. This challenges everything we thought we knew about cravings and reward. It's not just sugar that makes us come back for more. Fat is just as powerful, maybe even more so. So what does this all mean for the rest of us? Well, it means that those rich, creamy treats we love might be doing more than just adding inches to our waistlines. They could be subtly rewiring our brains, making us crave more and more, even when we're not hungry. It's a reminder to be mindful of what we eat, not just for our bodies, but for our brains too. Just one mega-fat shake was enough to make the volunteers' brains crave more, snack more, and think about food long after the last sip. The effect was powerful, immediate, and hard to ignore. It's no wonder so many of us find it tough to stop at just one treat. Some volunteers felt totally satisfied, basking in the afterglow of their indulgence. Others felt a wave of guilt, surprised by how quickly they'd polished off the shake, and how much they still wanted more. It's a roller coaster of emotions, all triggered by a single, super fatty drink. The bottom line? Your brain loves fat more than you think. It's wired to seek out rich, energy-dense foods, and when it gets them, it rewards you with a flood of feel-good chemicals. But that reward can come with a price: cravings, impulsive eating, and a cycle that's hard to break. So next time you're sipping on a milkshake, remember, your brain is having a party, and it might not want to stop. Enjoy that treat, savor every sip, but maybe think twice before going for the world record. Sometimes a little indulgence is all you need. If you found this experiment as fascinating as we did, make sure to subscribe for more fun science experiments, wild food challenges, and mind-blowing discoveries about how what we eat shapes our brains and our lives. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next episode.